I get it. I finally understand why people dislike digital nomads here in Medellin. So this morning I had a quiet schedule. I didn't really have much going on. So I thought, you know what, it'd be nice to get B and go to my local Pergamino in San Lucas. It's a little bit of a walk uphill from where I am now. It's like a 20-minute walk uphill, but you know, something different. I never normally go there. And it's something nice to do. As you can see, the weather's great, hardly any clouds in the sky. End of the week, Friday vibes. I thought, why not go and get myself a flat white? So me and B walked up there, all good as normal. So I've been to this Pergamino once before, so I kind of knew where it was and everything. So walked up to the shop. Looked quite busy, but anyway, so I ordered my flat white, spoke to the lady there in Spanish, a little bit of a chit chat, you know the drill. And so when I was waiting for my coffee, I had a little look around with B just to check if there are any tables there or any spare seats. And it's quite a big one. There are maybe 3 or 4 kind of large seating areas in that Pergamino. So I thought, you know, the chances are there is going to be a seat. There's going to be a little table somewhere. There's going to be a little nook or a cranny that I can just like squeeze into. I didn't have my laptop with me or anything, literally just had B. It was an impromptu kind of coffee walk thing. So I planned to sit down, people watch, have a little bit of a coffee, something like that, something very innocent, something like a normal person would do. And honestly, it's something that a normal local Colombian would do on a Friday. Maybe they're retired, maybe they got the morning off work. So yeah, and you know what? No seats anywhere, no tables anywhere. You want to know why? Because how most of the tables were set up, so it's one table and it has kind of 4 chairs around it. Every single table was taken up by someone working on their laptop. Digital nomad, maybe a local, maybe a tourist, probably a foreigner, sat there on their laptop. Some people had drinks, some people didn't. Some people just literally had glasses of water, nothing else on the table apart from their laptop. And yeah, there was literally no space in this Pergamino because it was just completely taken up with people working from the cafe. And look, I had to get my coffee to go, holding it with the microphone here, but I had planned to have my coffee there, just sit down with it, but they had to take it out, put it in this takeaway cup, and now it's cold and I didn't really enjoy the coffee that much, even though the taste from the beans from Pergamino is actually good. And you know what? I was really pissed off. I was actually a bit angry. This is insane. This is a WeWork. It's literally a co-working space. There was zero vibe or atmosphere in this cafe whatsoever. It was an office. Literally, it was an office. It was just full of people on their laptops with noise-cancelling headphones on. Some people weren't even doing work. Some people were doing courses. They were watching an online course on their laptop. So they were basically watching TV in Pergamino. Why can't you do that at home? Why do you need to go to a cafe to do that? Now, some of you may say, yeah, but Harry, you're contributing to that as well. I wasn't, because I don't regularly do that, and I did not bring my laptop with me or a bag or anything. I just literally wanted to have a sit-down coffee in a coffee shop, and I couldn't because all the tables were taken up by digital nomads. And you know what? So 100% of the tables were taken up, but of the actual seating, probably only 25% of the seats were taken up, meaning that Pergamino may have had a capacity for, let's say, 100 customers, but it only had 25 customers because there was only one person per table, because that table was taken up by people with a laptop watching a course. Who goes to a cafe on a Friday morning to watch TV and take up a table? It's so fucking rude. I don't think all kind of digital nomads are made the same. The people at this Pergamino who had just bought one drink, like for 10,000 pesos, but were going to spend the whole day there, just contributing absolutely nothing to society in Colombia. People were there with their big rucksack, with their laptop, with their charger, with their big notebook, with other notebooks, with their noise-cancelling headphones on. Someone even had brought food with them from home. They'd actually bought their own food to Pergamino, which sells food already, just to sit there for the whole day and work in your apartment. All these people were probably renting Airbnbs in San Lucas, where the Pergamino was. Just work in your apartment, just like I do. What's wrong with that? Why do you need to go to a cafe to work? And yeah, even though I am not a local, I am a Brit living in Colombia, I'm also not a kind of foreigner who's just arrived here. I'm only here for like a few weeks, then I'm like fucking off to another country. I've been living here for 10 months, so I'm kind of on my way to becoming a local. I've got my dog here and everything. And I turned up, I paid the money for my coffee. I'd expected a seat, just to be able to sit down, enjoy my coffee for 10 minutes, then leave. And I wasn't able to do that. And I completely understand why local Colombians, local paisas in that position just turn up to San Lucas Pergamino, they want a coffee, they just want to chill, would be fucking annoyed to see a bunch of arsehole digital nomads taking up a table for 4, even though they've only spent 10,000 pesos and they're watching an online course on their laptop there with their noise cancelling headphones in, and they probably don't even speak any Spanish. That would really fuck me off, and because it pissed me off. So how do you get around that? It was actually really awkward, because when my coffee finally arrived, I was literally just standing at the counter with B, and the lady said, oh, you know, is there a table? I said, look, there's no table. I had 2 of the people there kind of look a little bit around with me as well to try and find a table. There was none, and so I kind of awkwardly said, well, She's like, oh, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I kind of, in Spanish, by the way, I was like, I kind of want to sit here and enjoy my coffee in the nice mug that you put it in, but there's no tables there. And literally, people were sat there with just glasses of water. They're obviously not spending a lot of money in the cafe, and they're taking up a whole table. And yeah, we used to have this problem in London a lot. So popular cafes would just adopt a no laptop policy. And cafes in Medellin 100% need to do that. You know why? Because the vibe of this Pergamino in San Lucas, by the way, which is in a really nice building. The building is new, and they kind of sell apartments for like 3 billion pesos in this apartment building. And in San Lucas, it's really nice. And the Pergamino's on the ground floor. But there was no atmosphere in this coffee shop because it was a co-working space. It was an office. It's like walking into an office. They had some music playing. Obviously, they had the people working there, but all 25, 30 people in the Pergamino all had their noise-cancelling headphones in. We're all working. We're all like watching courses on how to get rich online. We're all with their notepads doing work. It was an office. And so this is not good for Pergamino, for example, because not only are they only at 25% capacity because one person is taking up a table of 4, but there's also just no vibe in that coffee shop. And so they should have a no laptop policy, which would prevent those people coming, yes, but those people are only buying a coffee or 2 for 10,000 pesos each. So Pergamino are not going to be out of pocket too much from that, and more people are going to go because it'll be way cooler. There'll be actually an atmosphere. People will be chatting to each other, or at least kind of enjoying the ambience of the place rather than just being surrounded by digital nomads all the time. Another motto. The city of motos. Another off topic about motos. I reckon that every single paisa that goes to another country that's not in Latin America, let's say they go to Europe, the first thing that they'd be surprised about is the lack of motos, let's say in European countries. They'd arrive in London or Milan or any other city in Europe and go like, what the fuck? What, like, where are all the motos? Like, where are they? But anyway, I divulge. So yeah, these popular cafes for digital nomads in Medellin should adopt a no laptop policy, because those digital nomads that could quite easily watch their stupid little online course in their Airbnb that they've rented ruin these really nice cafes for like local people. So yeah, I completely get why those kind of digital nomads get a really bad rep. And you know what? It wasn't completely foreigners who are not from Colombia. There would have been some Colombians in there. There would have been some other Latinos. It's not entirely people from the United States or Europe, but I guess the majority were. Because of where it was, people wouldn't have taken taxis there. So they would have been staying locally. And yeah, it ruined my coffee morning because I just wanted to sit there with B, people watch, enjoy the ambience, have my little flat white, and I had to get that coffee to go. And you know what? Now I'm just not going to go to Pergamino anymore until they sort out that laptop policy. I don't want to go and have a coffee in an office space. Like, what the fuck? Literally an office space. If you can just imagine a sterile WeWork, that's what it was. And it's a coffee shop. Absolutely insane. And if they don't want to adopt that no laptop policy, at least have a rule. Like, if you're going to bring a laptop, maximum an hour. You don't need to go and sit down somewhere for like 4 hours. Just do that in your house. Or if you actually want a co-working space, just buy a co-working space. I also get that Pergamino is like the final boss of digital nomad cafes, because there are other cafes, for example, near my apartment, which you don't have that problem. But yeah, I mean, Pergamino does nice coffee. It's a local brand, so kind of it's good to support local brands like that. But after that just shambles of not being able to find any table. There were seats available. 75% of the seats in this cafe were available. There was just nowhere to sit, and you can't just sit on a chair with no table in front of you. You're just taken up by these selfish people just watching videos on their laptop from this Pergamino. I mean, why on earth you can't just do that in your Airbnb? I have no idea. I mean, 99% of the work I do from my living room on my desk. Why do you need to go to a cafe to answer a few emails or to watch a shitty video online about how to make like 6 figures a month? And you know what? It does give quote unquote good digital nomads a bad rep, because while I was looking at that one person taking up a whole table just only with their glass of water, who had probably only bought one coffee and had planned to stay in that cafe for 4 hours, I was looking at them and like, oh, you selfish fucker. Someone walking past me right now is probably looking at me going, oh, there's another digital nomad fucker taking a video. So yeah, I guess those kind of people spoil it for the many. Totally get why locals dislike digital nomads. And so if you are a digital nomad in Medellin, it is your responsibility to be a good guest, to be a good foreigner, to be a good kind of tourist, be a good digital nomad in Medellin, and don't be an asshole. Catch you guys later.